right. Hello, 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 hello. Just checking in here. I'm on my cell phone, obviously. Computer's in the other room and washing machine's going, dishwasher's going. So a lot of noise out there. I thought I'd just come in here. Um, it's been about a month since I checked in. It's uh, early January, and a couple of things I just wanted to kind of touch base on. Um, I ended up pushing back my surgery. I was scheduled to have breast augmentation surgery in January or February, and I made the appointment in March last year. So I made the appointment like 11 months in advance, and I forgot that. Um, well, let's just say there was some creative accounting on behalf of the hospital. Um, they only gave me an estimate for the cosmetic portion of my surgery, not the full amount. It was up to me, you know, shame on me. I didn't, read the fine print, I guess. Um, but yeah, they gave me um, the cosmetic portion that I would be responsible for, um, but didn't tell me the full amount. So, as it turns out, surgery is more than double what they told me. So, can't have surgery. Don't have the money. So what I ended up doing was asking them if we could move it back to November. So we're going to push it back 9 months. Um, and now that I know how much money it's going to cost, this surgery is different than any other surgery I've ever done in that they wanted a portion of it up front. Usually, break your arm, I got to have surgery. I have an appendicitis, I got to have surgery. You go to the hospital, you have the surgery, and you get billed and you have a couple months to pay it off or years if you pay it in installments. But this surgery is very, very different. They want it up front. Now, if they had told me the full amount up front, that would have been awesome. But again, I'll take the blame. I'll take the blame for that. So if you are in the market to have breast augmentation or anything else, uh, get a written um, get a written estimate and ask them. This is the full amount, right? Might save you some headache. It would have saved me some headache. Um, and I think I mentioned this before, but um, if something is not covered, like breast augmentation, there may be parts of it that are covered. Not necessarily like uh, just because breast augmentation, let's say, is a not a voluntary. What is it? It's insulting, whatever they call it, cosmetic um, optional, not necessary, basically, not medically necessary, which of course makes you just want to get fist fight. Um, there are parts of it that might be covered. If you got to have surgery, I don't know how. I don't. Again, I'm not into the insurance and that much, but it turns out that there are parts of my operation that are covered under my insurance. It might be the use of the tool they use to cut me open. I don't, again, I don't know the specifics of it, but so where that comes into play is if you have a max out of pocket or a MOOP, that's something to kind of keep in mind. And this is kind of how this comes into play with me. I kind of think of it as a can of Mountain Dew Zero, which is not a sponsor of this channel, but you could be. Zero sugar. But your deductible, and for if you have a high deductible health plan at the start of your year, can's full. You know, you have to pay so much up front. And that's kind of what would happen with my surgery. I would be responsible for about $3,500 cash, if we did it today. But over the course of the year, your medication, um, if you go see a doctor or, you get some estrogen or something, over the course of the year, you're going to pay towards that, pay towards that, and pay towards that. Well, by November, can's empty because I've, over the course of the year, through trickle down, prescriptions and medications and doctor's visits and whatnot, I will have diminished what's in the can. And so, you know, that's kind of how this is going to come out. Is with me, I think when I looked at it, I'm going to hit my deductible in May. So by June, I'll hit my deductible. And if I had the surgery then, it would be about $1,000 less. If I waited from June to when I'm going to do it in November, surgery is going to be almost $3,000 less. So, and I'm not sitting on a wad of cash, obviously. So it really is to my advantage, and it might be to your advantage, which is why I share it with you. If you can, elective, if you're going to do something elective and you can look at the course of your year, if your insurance resets in January, that's what mine does. Sometimes they reset in July or another month throughout the year. Just the timing of it. If you can time the surgery, like I said, for me, it's going to be in November when I basically have hit my deductible. I'm almost at my max out of pocket. Yeah, the surgery itself will still cost several thousands of dollars. But because the hospital has to eat it and the insurance company has to eat it, that's where their negotiated rate kind of comes in. If it was just me or someone who didn't have insurance paying cash, they would charge, eight, nine, $10,000. But if it's between the hospital and the insurance company, they have a negotiated rate that could be a fraction of that. In this case, it will be, you know. So that's something kind of to keep in mind if you're in the market to have top surgery or bottom surgery or whatnot, is at what time in the year. So that's kind of a bit of something I could share with you that might affect other things, whether you're doing facial feminization, trach shave, whatever. Okay. Um, that aside, I've had sort of a mental block with having breast augmentation surgery. And um, initially, I thought it was just the process of how they do it. I mean, it's like um, stuffing a turkey. If you're the turkey and, you're going to get a fish shoved in you, um, just the. I finally watched the surgery. I watched a surgeon's procedure, and he explained, this is what we're doing. We're irrigating, we're using, it was kind of a sales brochure for her. He's like, and I use, 3 different types of iodine to sterilize the surgical site, da 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 da. Um, and I kind of, through, you know, crossed eyes and a hand, I did watch the entire process without kind of wincing. A lot like GCS, if you've ever watched a penile inversion and you watch them cut the penis, and you don't have to, but rather than it being some fear where your brain kind of imagines what it could be, when you actually see it and you're like, oh, okay, that's what it's done. And you realize the surgeon's done it like hundreds of times. Anyway, so to watch this breast augmentation surgery, I realized it really wasn't a surgery, although it's not something I want to experience when I'm awake. But I think what the main roadblock for me was that I didn't think I was worthy of it. In other words, a lot of self-doubt on my part. I didn't feel like I was worthy of it. I didn't feel like I deserved it. You know what I mean? And it's an expensive thing. I mean, because it's elective. You know, like I said, when you have an appendicitis or a hernia, yeah, it's a, $10,000, $12,000 surgery, but your insurance company is going to pay for half of it or whatever. And so you're like, aha, I have to do this to live my life. I have to do this to eat, to live. But a breast surgery, yes, it's gender dysphoria, my body, my image, yes, it's important. But if I didn't get it, this is for me. You might be different. I could live as I am doing for another 7 or 8 months, 9 months, 10 months without having it. I am going to make it because I know I am going to have it. But I can get up and do my job and everything. Okay. I don't know where I was going with this. Oh, but it is, I'm trying to move out of where we live. I'm trying to get buy a house. My daughter could use a car. Okay. My daughter's going to college pretty soon. You know what I mean? For me to spend $8,000 on me is very hard. Mentally, I have a block because I'm not good enough. I'm not, and this is me against me. Okay, no one is saying to me, "You're not good enough. You're a bad person." Blah blah blah. This is my own internal, you know. Uh, but you know, kudos to me for being a parent. My daughter does have food. She does have clothes. And this is something else that by pushing it back, I am taking care of everything she needs. I'm taking care of everything that I need. Um, I've been trying to lose some weight, as you can tell by the zero sugar. I've been doing keto since October, which is November, December, January. 3 months. Lost 30 pounds. Um, but that costs money to live better, to eat better. And so, again, I feel very selfish that I'm putting that into me, but I have taken care of my loved ones. I have taken care, like I said, rent, paid my car insurance. We've done all the things I have to do. But mentally, it's like, as a person, am I worthy of it? And that's been a big block. you know oh, well, couldn't you just sound like a relative when you say you're transgender? Couldn't you just put that off for a little bit? Couldn't you just you know wear women's underwear? Why do you have to transition? Da, da, da. And it's like an internal dialogue that I've had with myself. And I've talked to my therapist, and I've written it out. So that's kind of something, I guess, to share. It's a mental block that I've had. Um, and obviously now I've got, another 9 months to go back and forth on it if I wanted to. But um, really, I think that's just about it with me. I've lost some weight, kind of reached a plateau. I'd lose more if I exercised, but that's not going to happen. No, I know it. So not even bringing that up. Not even gonna bring that up. Um, really, that's just about it. Um, Kind of given up on finding a mate. That's always a perennial thing. Will I find someone who loves me? um, Kind of given up on that. Just keeping busy doing other things. Um, really, that's just about it. Like I said, I want to move. That's my big thing. Now I can save up for my surgery and save up for the move. I can do both at the same time. And I think that's something else that brings me a peace of mind. If things don't work out, and let's say I cancel it, yes, I've had to pay money up front to keep the slot, but I will get that money back. You know what I mean? The surgeon's office is part of my healthcare network hospital system. And so my primary care is in the system. So I will get that money back, even if they just credited my account. Um, you know, uh, Colonoscopy, and you got your money back. You know what I mean? Things you're going to have to do anyway. And that kind of comes back into this idea of the can. Throughout the year, if you just sit down and keep track of it, you're going to spend 3, 4, $5,000 over the course of the year. So if you can again time it just right, if you can time it the way it's written, it'll cost you a fraction of what it would otherwise. And they don't treat you any differently on uh, on December 31st at 11:58 p.m. They're going to give you the same surgery they're going to do on January 1st at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's just bookkeeping, you know. So kind of helps to learn the in and outs of when things get processed. So on that note, that's about it. I wish you the best of luck. There's really not much else going on with me. Just one day at a time. One day at a time. Still. All right. Wish you the best of luck, and you have a good day.